dominate today.
That's right, baby.
We got to dominate today.
Baby. We're going all the way.
Wait all my life, man.
Unbelievable. What an afternoon of football.
We're on another level, baby. We're getting there.
The Falcons are going to the... Ain't no stopping us. Here we go. Dirty Birds coming to your neighborhood, baby. Better look out.
For the first time in franchise history, the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl.
The 1998 Atlanta Falcons began their journey Week 1 in Carolina, as their defensive dominance would be a sign of things to come. Captained by quarterback Chris Chandler, this season-long voyage was just beginning. And after winning their first season opener on the road in 12 years, the Falcons' momentum propelled them past Philadelphia and face-to-face with NFC powerhouse San Francisco.
First time we played them, we thought we were better than we were at the time, and they were moving quicker and making more plays than we were.
The Falcons were given a hard slap of reality as they lost 31-20, but Atlanta turned frustration into determination.
After that game, Chuck Smith got up in front of the team and kind of challenged the team, you know, that, we got to play faster and harder and smarter and all that stuff. And it was really exactly what the team needed to hear at that point.
But I think the defining moment was the second Carolina game. You know, they totally disrespected us and said the first game was a fluke. And that second game, we went out there and we said, hey, we know we're better than those guys, and we blew them out. That's when we said, hey, man, we play our game. We can beat anybody.
The Falcons took their game to the Panthers, and they set an NFL record, scoring 3 touchdowns in 48 seconds.
How about that?
Week 6 marked Dan Reeves' triumphant return to the Meadowlands as his squad manhandled his former team 34-20.
Touchdown, Falcons, Antonio Edwards.
Looking to keep wins coming, Atlanta sought its 7th straight victory over the Saints. Falcon defense continued to create offense, and Atlanta secured a 31-23 victory and the best start in team history.
5-1, baby. 5-1.
Even though we were winning, everybody was saying, well, you know, they've done it against teams with losing records. And that frustrates you because, you know, you're still doing what you need to do, but people keep talking about, well, you can't compete with the good teams.
And when facing good teams, Atlanta had the most to prove. And against the doubters and disbelievers, they did just that.
Looking across the middle. Here comes the pressure. The ball is loose. Ball is loose.
Behind a merciless defense that forced 5 turnovers and a pair of determined touchdown catches by Dirty Bird originator O.J. Santiago, Atlanta knocked the Pats off their first-place pedestal, winning 41-10. The next mission for the Dirty Birds was a 49er rematch that would prove to be the measure of these men.
You know, each and every week we had to prepare for the opponent, but we were like, we have one more week, Niners, next week, you know, a couple weeks away. And so for us, everybody was ready to go, man. We wanted those guys, I mean, bad.
In front of a sellout crowd, sole possession of the NFC West was waiting to be claimed.
No, they always say, when you beat an opponent, they're always a little hungry in the second time around. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I'm hungry.
Guys, let's lay it on the line. Next play is the biggest play of the game. Let's get it done. Let's win this thing on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jamal Anderson, left side, looking for room. Anderson on his feet. Pulling into the end zone. Touchdown, Jamal Anderson. Steve Young will throw. Setting up, throwing downfield. And it's intercepted. Ray Buchanan, 30, 25, still on his feet. 20, now cutting it back inside the field. Looking for a block. Can he get one? Now, on his feet, still going, on his feet, spinning for the end zone, and tackled at the 2-yard line.
With exceptional play on both sides of the ball, Atlanta led by 5 points in the 4th quarter.
Touchdown,
But the Falcons were far from finished.
and the Dirty Bird dance in the end zone.
Good job, G-Win. That's your touchdown. That's your touchdown. Y'all did that.
Play action. Chandler will throw. Flying time, going long, near side. Mann. Oh,
With a convincing victory, Atlanta finally proved their prowess.
Hey, they've been beating up on us for years. We tired of getting beat up. We tired of it, baby. Yes. Yes.
Listen up now. I know how excited you are because I am too. I feel you. Guys, that's a great win. I mean, we've gotten ourselves in position now with 6 games to go, and it's left up to us is what we do with it. We know how hard it was to get here. We're going to pay the price to keep it going from here.
Against Chicago, quarterback and team leader Chris Chandler was looking to guide Atlanta to a franchise-high 8th home win as they attempted to truly establish dome field advantage. Chandler threw a pair of second-half touchdown passes, but early in the 4th quarter, the Bears jumped off sides and tackled Chandler, injuring his ankle and knee. The only way the Falcons knew how to win was as a team, and 44-year-old backup quarterback Steve DeBerg did his part as Atlanta ran the ball out of trouble and ran away with a 2013 victory.
We have no celebrities, we have no top-name guys, we don't have a ton of multimillionaires. You don't see us on cover of Sports Illustrated doing a lot of national commercials, but we are a hard-working group, and we believe in each other.
Week 13, the Falcons did more than believe. They performed. Jamal Anderson ran for a career-high 188 yards. And a week later, after shaking off injuries, quarterback Chris Chandler didn't miss a step and threw for a season-high 297 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Colts.
Jamal's still on his feet, trying to get some extra yardage.
Anybody in this league is capable of winning week in and week out. Did a good job now of hanging in there because things looked bad in the first half. Great job of coming back and winning the football game.
He started with the little things first, you know, attention to detail.
No helmets on the ground. You know, wear your uniform in practice how you wear it in the game. We're like, oh, get out of here. I talked to one of my buddies last week, and I'm telling him, you got to do the little things. I'm like, oh, sound like Coach Reeve.
We got a chance to go out there today to prove we're champions. Let's get after them from the start. Let's win this thing on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I really think he's the best coach in the NFL right now. It's almost like he's prepared himself all this time for right now.
You know, I played the game. I love the game. To me, it's the greatest game in the world. It's so much like life itself. I enjoy being around young people. It makes you feel young, and hopefully they'll continue to enjoy being around me.
Coach wanted to say hi to the folks at home.
Make sure everybody's watching and needs the support.
Yeah.
Plus, you better have a good
Get some
game.
playoff tickets. He's gonna call a good game. I'm gonna run a good game.
You got it.
Behind Dan Reeves' coaching and Jamal Anderson's running, records were falling. With 7 straight victories, Anderson's 10th 100-yard game, and a new club mark for receiving yards by Terrence Mathis, it seemed nothing could stop this fairy tale season from having anything but a happy ending.
Looking across the middle, Terrence Mathis, complete. Mathis, 40, 35-30, 25-20. Terrence Mathis, touchdown Falcons. And that is a heck of a play to help seal the deal here.
We started this day the same way before the game. I told you, you're gonna do a great job coaching. I'm gonna do a great job running. Now, all these people, go get your playoff tickets because we want you.
We are in the playoffs. That's true.
Go get your tickets. We're gonna keep rolling now.
Dan Reeves right now is undergoing bypass heart surgery in Atlanta after feeling ill during Sunday's game with the Saints.
The strength of the entire Falcons team seemed to come from the power of one, as a thankful Reeves was recovering.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate the outreach and everything that everybody's done, and know that I'm doing fine, and I appreciate it.
Despite quadruple bypass heart surgery, Reeves was still leading the way for the Falcons.
Look here, man, you got a chance to do something very special. The guy up in Atlanta's already proud of you. Let's make him proud by winning today. All we need is 60 minutes of hard-working football. And man, if you love football, you gotta love today. That's
Chandler looking long, back of the end zone. Touchdown, Terrence Mathis.
You can't stop. We won't stop.
Atlanta didn't stop. Fueled by the fire sparked by Reeves' absence, the Falcons were obsessed with success.
15, Jamal still on his feet, still going. He spins, lunging for the touchdown. No!
Down 7 points in the 4th quarter, Jamal Anderson's heart would be tested. Not only was a victory resting on his valor, but a division title as well.
This is it. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. 13-2.
Again, Jamal bounces off one man into the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons.
Get Dan on the phone! We love you, Dan! It's been a long time coming. Long time coming. Finally did it. 13-2, baby. Division champs.
Great comeback. Absolutely a great comeback against the Kansas City Chiefs. Where's
Everybody get a game ball, Coach.
First of all, the first guy who's going to get a game ball is Dan Reeves.
Less than 4 weeks after heart surgery, Dan Reeves' will and his team would once again be tried by San Francisco.
We just said if we match their intensity, we'll have an opportunity to beat them. And I think we overmatched their intensity that game.
Guys, let's go for 60 minutes. Win this thing on 3. 1, 2, 3.
In 1998, Jamal Anderson set a club record for rushing yards in a season with 1,846 behind a stellar offensive line. The determined runner quickly put the Falcons in the lead with one of the greatest individual efforts of the season.
Down to the goal line. Touchdown, Atlanta. What a run by him. He was in the air for the last 3 yards for the score. That was a sensational football run. And now the bird is the word.
Atlanta seemed to make their own luck all season long, as did a dangerous Tim Dwight.
Here's Tim Dwight. He takes it at 5, 10, 15, looking to get outside.
But despite apparent destiny, Atlanta's fortunes began to turn as Chandler's pass was batted down and then intercepted. The 49ers maintained possession and threatened to take the game in the final minutes of the fourth quarter as the Falcons felt their 2-point lead slipping away.
We're gonna have to win it on defense. It's gonna be on us, just the way we want it. Just the way we want it. Yeah.
With one final pass, championship fate would be sealed.
Rolling, looking, going long, near sideline. Ball is up for grabs. Who has it? Falcons have won the football game. It's on to the next step. And the Falcons advance to the NFC Championship for the first time in team history.
One step away.
We came in here and we beat them, just like we said we would.
Everybody in here, you know, contributed to the win. It took everybody to get the job done. A lot of things happened in the ball game we had no control over, and we did a great job of hanging in there and winning the football game, guys. Heck of a job. Everybody in here gets a game ball.
We accomplished so many goals. We couldn't beat a team that had a winning record. We couldn't win on the road. You know, we haven't, you know, played to our capabilities. We was hearing all type of things, and people putting hurdles in front of us, and we just kept jumping over them.
You sit there and say, hey, this is a chance to do something special here. We know how hard it is to get to this point. Let's not waste it.
The Falcons marched into a hostile Metrodome, trying to earn a trip to the Super Bowl for the first time in team history.
Yeah, baby, it's the showdown.
Orday!
Offense, you get the first chance. Let's get the job done. Win this thing on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, baby!
The Falcons put the pressure on in the opening drive of the game.
Complete touchdown Falcons. Jamal Anderson out of the backfield. And here is the Dirty Bird dance making its debut in the upper Midwest inside the Metrodome.
Atlanta's celebration was short-lived as Minnesota matched the Falcons' resolve and knotted the game at 7. The Vikings continued their assault on Atlanta and scored on their next 3 possessions, building a 20-7 lead. However, Dan Reeves and his Atlanta Falcons had become experts on comebacks. Falcon defense set the tone behind a stingy backfield led by Pro Bowl-bound cornerback Ray Buchanan and a hard-hearted bomb squad that included Jesse Tuggle, Cornelius Bennett, Lester Archambault, Shane Dronette, Travis Hall, and Chuck Smith.
Come on, D, let's go! Let's go, D! Cunningham will throw, setting up, and the ball is loose. The ball is loose. He was stripped of it as he attempted to throw the football. That's what the Falcons need, some turnovers. They need to get some opportunities, and now they have it with 59 seconds left before halftime.
Chuck Smith gave the Falcons the ball at the Vikings' 14-yard line and also gave Atlanta hope.
Setting up, going across the middle. Touchdown, Falcons, Terrence Mathis. And all of a sudden, this game looks much different, Jeff, than it did just a couple of minutes ago. How about that?
We can compete with these dudes, man. We can compete with these fellas, man. Way to go, champ.
A crazy contest saw the Falcons not only challenging, but also gaining momentum as they cut the Vikings' lead to only 7 in the fourth quarter. However, the Falcons failed to convert a fourth down play, and the ball went back to Minnesota. All Dan Reeves could do was watch as the Vikings' flawless kicker was sure to put the game out of reach.
This is from 39 yards out. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is no good. No good. Gary Anderson has missed a field goal for the first time in 2 years. The season isn't over yet. No, it's not over yet.
Coming down and in, baby, just like we like it. It's our game, baby, our game.
With just over 2 minutes left to play, Atlanta embarked upon the most critical drive in team history.
Chandler right now is on his knees. He is hurting right now.
The siege almost ended as the Ragged Warrior called a timeout after re-injuring his knee. However, Chris Chandler battled back with bravery and returned. With one chance, one play, and less than a minute remaining, the ball was snapped.
Left, Chandler will throw, setting up, left side, looking, throwing, across the middle. Does he have it? Yes! Touchdown, Falcons! Great poise by Chris Chandler.
Showed up, showed the world, and it's overtime, and it's time to get these guys.
In overtime, the Vikings won the toss and the ball as their big play offense tested a determined Falcon defense.
Oh, my goodness. And that ball, Jeff, in and out of the hands of Randy Moss. Scary.
The Falcons' overtime possession started at their own 9-yard line, and Atlanta began yet another critical drive.
Getting the ball away. Oh! Santiago makes the catch in territory of the Vikings.
After moving the ball into Viking territory, the Falcons' destiny rested on the foot of Morton Anderson.
A chance to go to the Super Bowl. 38-yard field goal by Morton Anderson. The hold, the kick, it's on the way, it's up and going. Celebration is underway on the field.
Oh my goodness!
That is an unbelievable victory, an unbelievable afternoon to come in here to beat the Minnesota Vikings inside the Metrodome, 30-27.
It's been 33 years. Falcons ain't never been to the Super Bowl. But we're going now. We're going.
In their 33-year history, the Atlanta Falcons have shed more tears of sorrow than of triumph. And after winning perhaps the most exciting NFC Championship game ever played, years of pain were wiped away in one unforgettable afternoon, in one incredible season, as the Falcons journeyed to their first Super Bowl.
So we are ready. Fans are on their feet here in Pro Player Stadium. We are ready for Super Bowl 33. The flashbulbs are off, and so are the Falcons.
Up to this point, you've earned everything you got. You're going to earn it again today, all right? Because it ain't going to be easy.
You need to hear what you say. Let's do it with action. Right. Let's win this football game.
Mathis complete. Mathis still going. On a running room, 45 up the midfield. 5th first down. Finally gets the Falcons on the scoreboard. Man. 12
5:37 left in the football game. Denver 24-6.
Jeff, it gets very, very difficult in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl game when you are down the way the Falcons are right now.
Guys, let's lay it on line.
Come on, fellas. Hey, let's keep it on them, baby. Keep the fire going.
Gets up, yes. Yes. Tim Dwight, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. 94 yards, Tim Dwight.
The achievements of 1998 didn't come without the blood, the sweat, and the courage of an entire team. A Super Bowl victory was perhaps just out of reach, but triumph was not.
Win or lose, you gonna gain our respect. Win or lose.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Here we are, sitting at the Super Bowl, and granted, this was a disappointing evening. But you know what, doggone it, how thrilling it was to follow the Atlanta Falcons.
Tell you what, I have never been so proud in my life. I wish my dad was here. I know he's up there watching and all that stuff, but don't tell what we can do.
From this point on where we are now, it'll continue to go uphill. And right now, you know, I'm just proud to be an Atlanta Falcon.
There's only one football that went through the goalpost. You know, I wish I could cut it up. Everybody have a piece of it.
All right, Coach, like a rock. Hey, like a rock. That's the way, Coach. That's the way. Hey, we said we could do it. Nobody believed, but now we don't turn it. We done shocked the world now. Shocked the whole world.
Dirty Birds, we've been in this before. We knew 60 minutes you gotta come fight us.